So I remember seeing this claim a few years back that humans shared 50% of their DNA with bananas, and it sounds a little bananas, right? But let's explore this nonsense, and I think I gotta get into the yeah, okay. I think I am ready. Except my notes say that Snopes did all the heavy lifting already, and it looks like they found the earliest reference was a 2001 episode of the science show Nova on PBS, where they talked about the Human Genome Project and stated in it that bananas and humans shared, well, some genes, not DNA writ large. And we'll explore that distinction in a minute, but the factoid that we are 50% banana gets stated over and over, exaggerated again and again, as recently as February of 2025. In fact, none other than Neil deGrasse Tyson said it in March of 2020.
But do you know we also have 50% common DNA with a banana?
I do love bananas.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone with a doctorate in ruining science movies for the rest of us because, ooh, no, bad plot, but he sure couldn't get a plot of his own right now, could he? But so what's reality? Let's see. Bananas and humans fall into a larger group of living things called eukaryotes, which sounds a little bit like a pretentious, bougie brand of oatmeal made in Oregon, but it means that we're distant cousins. And our common ancestor was this, globby thing, simple-celled thing that went by the name of Luca, last universal common ancestor. And one of Luca's kids, lazy bastard, just stayed put, said he wanted to grow some roots, and he turned into a couch potato or, a plant. And the other kid just would not stay put. He turned into an animal. And the two of them eventually had kids. And kids upon kids. And that evolution built and built and built on top of it for 1.6 billion years. But still, those same building blocks in Luca were passed down. They persisted. These fundamental DNA or genes are those bricks. They work a certain way, making sugars, proteins, dividing, ensuring cells don't spontaneously combust. Yeah, humans, animals, we just do a lot of very different things with those building blocks than plants do. And, you wouldn't call these two things 50% alike, would you? One is warm and inviting, and neighbors and friends always know when something good's happening. It brings great memories, but there's, always that one room that gets a little too hot. And the other's a house. Likewise, humans and bananas, just because we both bruise easily doesn't make us kissing cousins. And again, on that show Nova, they were not talking about all DNA. They were talking about genes, and genes are only 2% of our DNA. We don't share half our DNA with bananas. We do share some 40% of our genes. In fact, we share that with most all plants in general. It's not a banana-specific thing. Genes, or we could get even more into the weeds for the comparison made on that show, cistrons, say how to make proteins. And these evolve slower than most DNA. It's a necessary redundancy of their genetic code. And I say necessary because, you mutate one of these fundamentals and the whole house can come crashing down like some nut job knocked out a wall to make an open concept spam shack. So, a little napkin math here. Genes are 2% of DNA, and banananess is 40% of genes, so I guess we're just 1% banana? That doesn't even qualify us as a background extra in fruit salad. It's kind of like if our DNA and that of a banana were huge libraries, and the only thing these two libraries shared in common was a couple of boring books on ribonucleon protein complex biogenesis for dummies, or the mitosis diaries, confessions of a splitting cell. In fact, we share more in common with mushrooms than plants, literally. I mean, it makes sense. Bed rot in the dark, scrolling TikTok for a day, and you're essentially honoring your shiitake ancestors, huh? And by the way, wondering what's going on with the rest of our DNA? It's besides, doom scrolling on a Saturday. Well, 90% of it has unknown purposes. Or it's called junk DNA because, that's easier than, admitting we're all afraid to open the weird file on our DNA computer. I don't know. How did it get there? Is it a virus? Is it sentient? I don't know how it got there. Will somebody hold my data hostage? Can I throw it in a bag of rice or the trash? Or anyway, that leaves, 8 or 9% remaining DNA, and that stuff we do know. It regulates, cellular processes. They're the hall monitors, the counselors, the stopwatches, go-betweens, construction crew that, keeps this squishy burrito of bones and guts and drama from collapsing into a puddle of goo. And you know what? Banana schmana, we've already gone on this tangent. Let's go a little deeper, because do you have any idea how easy it is to throw a monkey wrench in the whole process? It's bad enough we gotta dodge bad traffic, bad dates, if we, ever want to start a next generation. We've got mutation as a monkey wrench thrown into the whole shebang. And it can be either a single point in the chain, or duplications, deletions, translocations. These might be errors during meiosis, which is a type of cell division making gametes, which, I guess we can politely call those the building blocks of life, and sex is the delivery system. And these meiotic errors are random glitches, a risk factor that's been with us since the beginning of eukaryotic history. Maybe one of them led to the banana split in our family lineage? It's okay, you can groan. And no, by the way, you cannot meiotic error your way into becoming a banana, not even on your worst day. That would require some crazy gene transfers and alien super steroids and whatever's in Elon's little pill case. But what is possible can produce pretty wild changes because it's affecting things that are fundamental to our being. The most visibly affected might be our dimorphism, the things that make us presumably male or female. Like males are bigger, flashier, stronger, mansplainier, and females, I don't know, can be hairless one day like dolphins and then chia pets the next, and they have cold feet. But this is all not set in stone, and a lot of things can and do throw a monkey wrench into the formula. For example, Klinefelter syndrome, discovered back in the 1940s. This is where somebody has two X's and a Y in their chromosomes. That's not the expected, right? And it can make a lot of changes. More feminine, men are more feminine, along with other effects, and it occurs in 1 in every 500 to 1,000 assigned male births. And if you're curious, that's an estimated 166,000 men in the U.S. That's damn near the population of Fort Lauderdale. Wouldn't it be kind of funny if everyone in Fort Lauderdale were to... Never mind. Everyone's favorite political football today, the chromosome system, XX for female, XY for male. This started in mammals about 180 million years ago. And fun fact, no sooner did the Y chromosome get promoted to this new role, making males, it started progressively losing genes, like that cousin with ADHD who got lost at Burning Man after a bump in a Red Bull. For females, of course, having two X chromosomes means they have a backup in case something glitches. which is also why males, on the other hand, die sooner and have more genetic disorders. The Y chromosome is like some ancient IKEA manual written by drunk raccoons, except one of them always shows up late for group projects with nothing to show for it and takes all the credit. Somehow the job gets done, but Jesus, we have nothing to thank Rocky for, and, the tape's gonna bust anytime, a staple might fly out. I mean, men, dudes, yeah, you, Chad, you and your alpha buddies, you and me, we're all evolutionary dice rolls. We're degenerates. We're beta code. We're operating like Justin Bieber in another rebrand. Is he fine? Are you sure? Or is he maybe just one misdemeanor away from a bad documentary? I don't know. Some scientists say the decay has stabilized. Others are not so sure. But hey, you know what? Don't worry. They say if it went away, some other gene would likely get promoted to the job. In fact, it's already happened in 2 species, the mole voles and Japanese spiny rats. They lost the Y chromosome entirely, yet still have males and females and really weird body parts. And if we go that route, basically, yeah, the entire landscape could change under us, and that's not all that's shifty. There's Turner syndrome, having only one X. That's it. And that's 1 in every 2,000 to 2,500 births or more. Many are not diagnosed. Or there's Jacobs syndrome, X and 2 Ys, typically male, maybe taller, and that one is, maybe 1 in 1,000 assigned births. Trisomy X, triple X syndrome, typically female. That's 1 in 1,000 assigned female births, found in 1959. There's 1X, there's 2 Ys, there's 2 X's and 2 Ys, 4 X's, 4 X's and an extra Y. Oh my God, it's like an insane game of Scrabble, but only 2 letters. And I ain't done there. Mosaicism. 1 fertilized egg, 1 person, but your cells didn't get the memo. A mix of XY, a mix of XX throughout your body, giving, very individual outcomes and creatively ambiguous genitalia. There's chimerism, like a chimera. 2 embryos fusing, and that's 2 cells, 2 sets of DNA in one body. XX, 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 XY, whatever. It's really rare, with a mix of sexual traits, or you might look completely normal. Side note, bananas, I bet you thought I forgot about bananas. Bananas are monoecious, meaning they have both sex organs on the same plant, which is kind of like chimerism, right? Or maybe ovotesticular DSD, there's another one. And this isn't everything, by the way. There's also around 600 million years ago, we developed a bunch of genes, and all of these can be unpredictable to this day. The FOXL2 gene, if that gets paid off to leave its post, your ovaries turn into testes. Hey! SRY, and that's a gene on that crumbling Y chromosome. If this gets translocated, you get De La Chapelle syndrome. And no, that doesn't mean you don't turn into Dave Chappelle. But you do get things like Swyer syndrome, where you might have XY chromosomes, but the body parts are female. Hey, it's like a fancy paint job dump truck interior. SOX9 gene mutations, and that gives you campomyelitic dysplasia and sex reversal. Also, around 600 million years ago, we got hormone signals, estrogen, androgen, testosterone, wildly mutable, giving us things like PCOS. That gives women's, irregular periods, excess androgen, throw in a male hormone, and yay, ovarian cysts. Hypergonadism, where sex glands produce next to no hormones for either sex, affecting how we appear, of course. There could be congenital adrenal hyperplasia, inherited trait that affects adrenal glands, leading to things like ambiguous genitalia, hormones for females, and oh my God, holy shit. That's multiple sex bending options for every 500 to 1,000 people, and that's all deeply researched. I mean, dig into it. It's not some conspiracy. And these are natural human variations. No, none of this means somebody is broken or mentally deficient. Most of them live full lives, full normal lives, unless hate campaign comes along and attempts to tear them down as less than human. For the record, every human alive has mutations. Most of them are harmless or just a little weird or maybe go completely unnoticed. And this is all on top of the fact that all of us produce estrogen and testosterone in varying degrees as individuals across time and at different stages of life. 1.2 billion years ago, nature made life, and then it hit shuffle on the old DNA radio, improvising the songs like some acid jazz band with an occasional exploding saxophone. Yet, yeah, okay, sure, let's act like sex and gender are two neat little binaries. Let's throw tantrums and have political shouting matches about that, because that's so much more important than, I don't know, fixing the dumpster fire economy, a Medicare system about to bleed out, stopping the tech bro takeover, or, stopping the National Guard from coming after us. Keeping the lights on for the rest of America, the rest of the world. Read the damn room. You're not fighting wokeism. You're just mad the cultural dictionary added new words faster than you could burn books. Biology doesn't do binary. Biology does make this shit up as we go. We'll use duct tape, staples, bubblegum, whatever, post-it notes, and some ancient nerdy programming biology in the basement. Biology does bananas. Our DNA doesn't give a shit about your politics. It's too busy trying to remember which of these genes came from a fish. Yeah, I take it all back. We're not 1% or 50%. We are all 100% fucking bananas.